Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Hello Kitty cake topper. Okay, so to begin with I'm going to make the whiskers, and I'm using black modelling paste for this, and I'm just going to roll them out very finely. So I'm making these first to give them time to dry before adding them to the face. Okay, here I'm just going to use a cake smoother just to help roll out the modelling paste so it's nice and even. And now I'm just using a knife just to cut, I think probably about 1 centimetre small strips of the black modelling paste for the whiskers. And now I'm just going to roll again just so the ends aren't flat where I've cut them. Okay, now I'm just going to put them on a foam mat to dry. So now I'm going to make Hello Kitty's body by using 25 grams of white modelling paste. I've kneaded it till it's pliable, and now I'm just going to roll it into a ball and then into a cone shape. So because Hello Kitty's head is quite big, I'm going to have an internal support, and I'm using a candy stick for this. I'm just going to push it straight through the body, and then I'm just going to carry on moulding it back into a cone because it would have distorted slightly. I tend to use candy sticks if I can because they're edible, and I prefer edible things to go through my models. You would of course still need to tell the person that you're making the model for that is inside. So I've left a bit out the top there for the head to go on. It can be easily trimmed later if needed. So next I'm going to make the legs, and I've got about 3 grams of white modelling paste for each leg. Just rolling it into a little rectangular shape, and then just using my finger just to create a little foot there. There we go. I'm just going to make sure that they are the same size. You don't want them too long. And I'm just going to use some clear alcohol just to stick them into position. I've done her sitting down because I think that would be easier. You've got to have less support, and because she has such a big head, you've got a lot of weight there coming down onto the body. So now I'm just going to stick them together as well. Just using a modelling tool just to help join the modelling paste up at the end there. And then once you're happy, I'm just securing and shaping with my fingers. So now I'm going to make Hello Kitty's dress, and I've rolled out some pink modelling paste very finely, and I'm just using a circle cutter. I'm just going to cut out a circle. Now I did go through a few circles until I actually found the right size, so this is a little bit of trial and error really. And now I'm just using a knife just to cut into the middle. And now I'm just going to take a piping nozzle, just something that's a small circle, just to cut out the middle there, so that's like the neck of the dress. Just going to smooth the edges off. There we go, and now I'm just going to check that for size, so that'll go all the way around and is long enough. And now I'm just going to put a little bit of clear alcohol around the top part of the model where the dress will go. And then I'm going to carefully just place that around the front there. So I'm just gradually sticking the dress to the model and then just gently teasing it round to make it fit. I've just got my scissors there because I'm going to keep trimming it as well. Add a little bit more glue. You want to kind of add the glue slowly, because if you want to take it off to adjust it, you can't, it'll be stuck down. So it's best to do it slowly. So now I'm just going to take a little piece of the excess away. And it's just a case of just teasing it round and keep using your fingers just to mould it into the shape that you want it to be, and just keep removing the excess with the scissors. So you can see that I've kind of got a little bit pleated around there, around the bottom where it comes out, just to make it look more dress-like. And now I'm just using my finger just to smoothen off the join that you have at the back of the dress. Now it's up to you, you could just leave this, or later on I show you I put a little strip down the back just to hide the join. But you can just gently smooth it off and you won't really be able to see it either. So that's entirely up to you. And now I'm just going around the edges with my thumb and finger just to thin it out a little bit to make it look a bit more like a dress. And then I'm just using my tool just to, again, just ruffle the bottom a little bit. So my candy cane is a little bit loose in there, so I'm just using a bit of clear alcohol and I'm using a little bit of white modelling paste, and I'm just making it quite damp with the alcohol and just pressing it down into where the gaps are. This is really a good tip actually, because when it dries really, really solid and it's very secure. Just want to make sure it gets quite wet. So again, a little bit of clear alcohol, pop the modelling paste in the hole, and then just use my wet brush again just to shapen it into place and make it quite wet, and then once it's dry it'll be very, very secure. Okay, so now we're going to make the little arms of the dress by using some pea-sized amounts of pink modelling paste balls, and then I'm just using my bone tool just to make a little hole in there. I'm just going to twist it round in my hand as we make a little hole into the modelling paste. I always work in pairs so that I know that they're going to be the same shape and size. Okay, just checking they're the same size. And then I'm just going to use a bit of clear alcohol just to stick it into position. There we go. They look the same size. And then again, I'm just going to use my bone tool just to help secure it into position and to make sure that opening is there to put the arm in. Okay, next I'm going to make the arms, and I've got about 2 or 3 grams of white modelling paste per arm, and I just form it into a tube and then just use my fingers just to create a little hand. I'm just checking that for size. It's always a guide with the weight. That was actually a little bit too big for me, so I just trimmed it off a little bit. And then I just taper the top part, which will go into the dress part that we made earlier. I'm just going to form that hand a bit more, flatten it out. And then I'm just using my Dresden tool just to create a little indent for like the thumb, which has a little thumb shape showing. I'm going to make sure that when you do the thumbs that they're in the correct place at the top of the hand. And I'm just going to do the other arm before I put it in, just so I know that I've got 2 of the same size. So you can see it's thinner at one end, it's going to go into the dress, just making the other thumb, making sure that it'll be on top of the hand. And now it's just all about just making sure they are the same size really. So I'm just going to trim that a little bit. Make sure it's tapered so it'll go into the dress okay. Okay, so now I'm happy with the arms. Just add a little bit of clear alcohol into the dress that we made earlier, and then I'm just going to stick that into position. Okay, so now I'm going to do exactly the same with the other arm. So So now I'm happy with the arms. I'm just going to add that extra piece to the back to hide the join. And I've just rolled out a small piece of pink modelling paste, which I'm now just going to cut into a very narrow rectangle shape. Just going to apply a little bit of clear alcohol to the back of the dress and then just going to stick that over the join. Going to trim that so it's the same length as the dress. Just using my knife tool just to straighten it up. And you can see it there. And now all I'm doing is just rolling some small balls of pink modelling paste. I'm going to stick them on top of the strip that I've just added. Use my ball tool just to press it into place, flatten it out. And then I'm just going to use a cocktail stick to make 2 little holes so it looks like a button. And there we go. And I'm just going to add a couple more buttons down the back of the dress. As I said, this is just a little added detail and you don't have to do this if you don't want to. So now I'm going to add another little bit of detail to the dress. I've just rolled out some pink modelling paste and I've just got my wavy edged cutter. As you can see there, just cut out a nice little wavy edge shape. Just going to use my nozzle again just to cut out the middle part. So we're making a collar for the dress. Just going to make sure that's okay for shape and size. And then I'm just going to stick it into position. This just finishes the dress off, covers up any bits that are a bit untidy. But again, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. Just so you know, I'll leave a link to everything that I've used in this tutorial in the description. Okay, just going to pick that up and just hopefully you can see what I've done there. Okay. So now I'm going to put the body to one side and I've got 40 grams of white modelling paste that I've kneaded till pliable and then formed into an oval shape. I'm now going to taper the edges slightly so they start to go in at the top, and I'm just using my finger just to make a little indent at the top of the head. It's the start of where the ears are going to go, and now I'm just going to gently pull out the ear from one side and then repeat with the other. So just teasing it both ways. And then flattening it off. We do it gradually, making sure that your ears are the same size. Going around the bottom a bit. Checking that for size, and that seems okay. Just going to round that bottom again. Okay, so now I'm just going to mark where the nose and the eyes are going to go, just very gently. I'm doing it slowly because I'm looking at a picture. So there's the nose, and the eyes are about halfway down, or just below halfway down. And then they're ovals, so I'm just kind of just moving my ball tool up and down a little bit to get an oval shape. If you do things slowly, then if you make a mistake, it's easier just to kind of rub it out and then redo it. So I'm just going to reshape them that a little bit more. Okay, so now I need to make a hole for where the candy stick is. I'm just going to make sure it's not too long. So it is a little bit long, so I'm just going to trim that with the scissors. And then I've got a bit of candy stick here just to start making the hole, so I make sure I get it in the right place rather than putting it straight into the head to make the hole. And once I've got that, I'm just going to add a little bit of clear alcohol just to help it stick, not too much because I don't want the candy stick to get wet. a little bit around the bottom of the head. And there we go, I'm just going to stick that into position. Okay, so I'm just using my bone tool just to round the bottom of Kitty's head so it's not so square. And then again, I'm just trying to do a little bit of indent before the ears. And then again on top of the ears. So now I'm just going to stick a small ball of yellow modelling paste into the hole we made earlier. So that's for the nose. Hope you can see that there. And the same again, I'm just making the eye holes a little bit deeper, and I've got some small oval shaped pieces of black modelling paste that I'm just going to stick into the pre-made holes. And then just secure them with my thumbs. Okay, now I'm just going to make the bow, and I've got 2 balls of pink modelling paste and 1 smaller ball. So I'm just going to, with the bigger balls, I'm just going to form them into 2 flat triangle shapes, and I'm just going to use my Dresden tool just to create a little bit of an indent there, and then I can just pinch the bottom together and flatten with the other side with my fingers, and that'll create a little bow shape. So I'm just going to stick that into position just below the ear. And there we go. And I've just got that smaller ball which I'm just going to stick in the middle. I think that's a little bit too big, so I've just made that smaller. A little bit of clear alcohol, and then I'm just going to pop that into position and just flatten it with my finger. And there's the bow made. So lastly, we're going to add the whiskers, and I'm just using my needle tool to make a hole for the first one. And I'm just going to put a little bit of clear alcohol in there with a really tiny paintbrush. And then I'm going to get my pre-made whisker that I made earlier, and I'm just going to push that into position very carefully. And there you can see that stays. So now I'm just going to repeat this for the other whiskers. Okay, so that's your Hello Kitty cake topper made. I really hope that you found this tutorial useful. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to check out my other tutorials. I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.